Spade's sister says the designer suffered from bipolar disorder. She told CBS News Spade was on the verge of seeking treatment several times, but worried that being treated for depression would hurt her upbeat brand. A source close to the family, though, tells People magazine Spade and her sister were estranged, and the sister didn't know what was going on in the designer's life. We do know that Kate Spade left a suicide note addressed to her daughter, wanting the teenager to know that it wasn't her fault. Police believe Spade was also struggling with marital and financial problems. Kate Spade was 55 years old. David?
Wow, such a devastating story, Lisa. Thank you. Dr. Mallika Marshall is here now, and more middle-aged women are committing suicide.
I know, people are so surprised by this.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that suicide rates have been going up in general across almost all ages, but especially among women between the ages of 45 and 64. She was 55. And in fact, suicide is one of the top causes of death among middle-aged women. And while women are more likely, it's so hard to talk about, but more likely to turn to poisoning, more women are choosing suffocation, especially hanging, as a ways of doing it.
So the question I think many people are asking, why are more middle-aged women committing suicide?
So I found this really interesting, that women are more vulnerable sort of before they go through puberty and during menopause. And as you can imagine, those are sort of transition periods in terms of their sexual identities. Plus, women, we know, suffer from depression almost twice as often as men. And while a lot of women may take antidepressants, many of them don't see a mental health specialist on a regular basis. Plus, we know that women are under increasing pressure from their jobs and from their families. Sometimes they feel disappointed. Sometimes they're disappointed in themselves. Sometimes they feel like they didn't accomplish as much as they could have. Sometimes they feel shameful. And, you know, unfortunately, some people aren't able to verbalize what's going on inside, and they suffer in silence.
So how do you know if someone's at risk? Can you know?
Well, there are some cues. Obviously, if someone has tried to commit suicide before, that's a big red flag. But you don't want to look for someone who is increasingly withdrawn, who might have significant changes in their mood. Other things are a history of depression or mental illness, having a physical illness, maybe having lost their job or having money troubles, feeling alone, using alcohol and drugs, and obviously if they have a plan, especially if they have an opportunity to get to a firearm. So if you think that you're in need of help or someone you know needs help, there is a hotline you can call. It's called the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, and that number is 1-800-273-TALK, 1-800-273-8255. So please give them a call.
And I think we all have to sort of retrain ourselves to stop thinking like, well, that person has money, that person's successful. When it comes to mental health, we don't know. We need to pay a little more attention.
Absolutely.
All right, doctor, thank you so much.